Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Good evening, folks. This is the second show I have started tonight. And yes, I did miss John because it's very difficult to end one show and start another one that's supposed to be immediately afterwards. If you are as fond of talking as I am and miss the cue exactly at the right time and have to wait a few seconds to get it started. So, yes, I did that. And I am not ashamed, nor am I proud. But this is life. I have 2 days left to work in my professional career at the factory. I've got my other professional career I'm going to keep going on with. My other 16 professional careers I'm going to go on with. More about that later. Maybe I'll redo my commercial and have something short enough to play that will not lose your interest before it is back to the show. But with me tonight, right now, at least for a short time, is Joe Bachman and Rich. We might have Kiri here a little bit later. He mentioned being able to drop in, so that will be fine.
Yep.
Aunt Donna will not be with us tonight. She's already had to go to bed. Dawn will not be with us tonight because she's in a little bit of pain. And by a little bit, I mean extraordinary amounts like she normally lives with. And thank you, Facebook, for telling me it's time to start the show.
Short the stove, that'd be kind of painful.
Probably would, yes. Spookerisms are us.
Yeah, I love that notification when you're in the middle of talking, all of a sudden, don't forget to start your show. Does your server not see me running it?
Hey, I have already, there's been at least once where I have played the intro video, done the intro speech, and realized I had yet to yet to click the start broadcast button.
Gotta love the days that Zoom and Outlook both tell me 15 minutes into a class, class starting now. No, class started 15 minutes ago when I started broadcasting. Can't you applications actually frickin' talk all the time?
Yeah, do y'all not know how to read a clock? I mean, whose computer are you going by? I thought they were supposed to all be set by the corporate computer.
Mm-hmm.
Master control program. Tron reference for anybody that doesn't know.
Got a little problem for you, Sark.
I'm going to have to watch that again soon. And there's at least one of the sequels I like as well. Not sure if I like them all, but at least one. Oh, and here's Chris.
Sorry, I had to take care of a few things.
That's quite all right. I understand completely. I'd appreciate the 2-minute warning.
He had to go feed his cultists.
Actually, I had to go grab some water bottles.
And here I thought you heard a taco truck drive by.
No.
Oh.
Believe me, if there's ever a truck driving by with mariachi music, and I get out into the driveway quick enough to flag it down, it better be serving margaritas or burrito deluxe combos. I don't know which, but
both would be preferred.
Both would be preferred, yes.
What about tamales?
I'm kind of on the fence about tamales.
I like them, but I have to be in the mood for them.
There's a great little tamale place right around the corner from us. Right next to the laundromat and the liquor store. It's a little Mexican store, and they make carnitas on site. They make the chicken-ons or whatever the hell they are. Basically, the big brother of the pork rind. And also tamales. So we go over there and we grab tamales every so often.
Well, what, in your judgment, is the standard for a good tamale?
Well, I can tell you, I got spoiled because we had a coworker. His mom and grandmother, every year after Halloween and before Thanksgiving, she would make about 300 homemade tamales, and they'd bring them into work and let us eat them.
Oh.
The first time I ever had a tamale was my buddy Vince's mom. Mrs. Ortega was a phenomenal cook. I had never had a tamale, and I kept trying to politely say no. Trying to say no to a Mexican mother trying to feed you.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Who viewed you as her own child?
Yeah.
Yeah, I damn near got held down.
No, Ricardo, you eat this.
So, well, no, it's she only used Ricardo for her son named Richard, and only when he done screwed up.
Oh, okay.
If my buddy Vince knew exactly how much trouble they were in, because if they said Vince or Vincent, he was fine. If they said Vincente, he was like, oh, hell, this is going to leave a mark.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you were supposed to take the corn husk off, because, again, this is the first time I'd ever had a tamale. They laughed at me for like the next 10 years.
White boy.
Till somebody else screwed
Look,
up and did it.
look at this gringo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
I miss Mrs. Ortega. She was an awesome lady. And like I
Well,
said,
that's-
they both looked at me like an additional son.
Yeah. That's kind of like a Southern grandmother.
oh yes.
Um,
It's a way Southern grandmother.
yeah, you did not leave their house hungry.
Southern mama, Southern grandma, Mexican grandma, Mexican ma,
Yep.
Jewish ma.
That shit don't happen under their house.
No.
No. If you leave hungry, it's your own damn fault.
Yep.
If you leave hungry, they will tackle you within 3 blocks and force feed you.
Some of them will.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll send it home with you, or tell your mom that I sent her food home with him. He needs to eat that. And if you try and ditch it and your mom finds out about it, your ass is in a world of hurt.
Oh, tell me. Lindsay's got a fridge full of mince pies right now, and I've got a unopened jug of aphasia. Why strike now?
Because it can.
Christmas milk drink.
Eggnog.
Eggnog.
Eggnog. I've got an entire jug of eggnog I haven't opened, and Lindsay's got mince pies. And I've got a bottle of rum I haven't opened yet.
I bought
Oh.
What is my problem?
1 quart of eggnog. I bought the last quart of eggnog I saw in any of the local stores.
They didn't
I
have
didn't-
quart. I had to get a half gallon.
Yeah,
But I will drink it. It's like buttermilk. It's gonna be gone. Just let me open it and taste it, and then it will be gone instantly.
I started drinking it on Christmas Day, and I finished it up about 2 o'clock the day after Christmas in the morning.
Yeah, tamales for me, they need to be moist. I have had some dry ones, but there was a guy, and this was back when I shot in pool leagues.
Mm-hmm.
You always found out from your captain where you were shooting at. 1, because, well, you need to know where to go. 2, you knew whether or not they had food. And 3, you know whether or not they had decent food. And there was a few that either didn't have decent food or they just offered frozen pizzas.
Yeah.
And that was the one that this little old Mexican man would go and hit every Wednesday night. And come in and sell tamales. And oh God, were they good.
Yeah. Hey, if they learn that the spot ain't got good food and they're the only competition in town and they're way better, they're gonna milk that cow till it's dry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, yeah, and I think it's universal, no matter what culture it is. A cook that has been at it for a long time is not going to be a bad cook.
Yeah.
Because somebody would have made them stop a long time ago if they weren't good.
And a lot of folks, grandmothers, got an early start.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they started before they were 10.
Yeah,
And they got damn good.
I remember that culture very well myself.
And they learned how to cook more with less because those that grew up in the Depression especially.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have an awful lot to start with. So,
And
Or just
they
after,
learned
yeah.
how to they learned how to make it count.
yeah, I've got a couple of sections of my autobiography here where I talk about a normal Sunday dinner versus a holiday dinner at my grandmother's, both grandmothers. And my God, looking back at that, it reads like something some king of England would have had for a
Well,
fancy feast.
my grandma, one of the things she was known for was homemade red velvet cake with homemade icing.
Oh, keep talking dirty to me. Don't stop now.
And
Really?
she would ask my older brother Michael, every year what do he want for his birthday. So I want red velvet cake. He says, "You sure does?" He said, "I don't care about anything else. If you give me red velvet cake for my birthday, I'm gonna be happy." And she's talking about homemade icing with pecans in it, crushed
yeah.
pecans in it. So keep in mind, she's from South Georgia, and there's plenty of pecans down there.
And she'd use all of them.
And they would be crushed up in various pieces of various sizes. And anyway, she's been gone for about a decade now. It might not be exact, but it's close. And I called my aunt, and her granddaughters made her red velvet cake based on my grandma's recipe. She was happy about it, and my brother's wife made him a red velvet cake based on my grandma's recipe.
For some reason, somebody prompted a memory the other day. I was remembering a time when my dad and I would walk out into the woods behind the house up in East Tennessee. And we weren't exactly hunting.
Oh,
we were
gosh.
just kind of more rambling than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one day, hey Josh, there was one day when we were walking around and we smelled root beer.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddy traced the smell to a sassafras stump. Somebody cut the tree down a long time ago, but the stump was still there. And he said, "You sit right here. I will be back just as quick as I can." He ran back to the house, got the shovel, and ran back. I might have been sitting there for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, just waiting on Dad to come back. You know, it's not like I was in any danger or anything. I'm out in the middle of the woods. I was probably the most dangerous thing that was there until Dad showed up with a shovel. Started digging up the roots of this sassafras stump. And we had basically an armload of sassafras roots. Took it back to the house. Daddy carefully washed all the dirt off, peeled the bark back, and got Mama's biggest stew pot. Cut the roots up into little chunks, filled that stew pot with water, put the roots in it, and started boiling it. I discovered what sassafras tea was that day.
Ooh, I bet that was good.
Oh man, if you can imagine hot, non-carbonated root beer,
Ooh.
a really good brand of root beer. I can just imagine how people reacted decades earlier when that particular taste treat was presented to them for the first time, because I went absolutely apeshit. I just loved that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Not only was it calming and soothing, and just I don't know how much, if any, caffeine is in the natural root, but
Isn't root beer, all root beer's caffeine free though?
could be.
Almost all root beer.
Almost.
Okay.
I think it's Barks that caffeinates theirs.
Okay.
It's the one with bite.
There's one that will caffeinate the root beer.
It was soothing as well as enervating. If you can wrap your mind around that opposition of two concepts right there.
Crap!
But
I gotta buy root beer, vanilla ice cream, and cream soda for Sunday night.
you're gonna have a good Sunday night if you remember.
Black cows at
Leave me
midnight.
afloat.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you remember? Oh,
Absolutely.
I can't
Josh.
think that. I
Absolutely.
can't think the actor's name, but he played the one that said, "Hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl."
I can't remember the actor's name either, but it was.
I think it's William Sanderson, but don't quote me on it. He used to advertise for A&W root beer.
A&W is a very, very tasty brand of root beer.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked that. Barks is a really good one nowadays. We used to go to the actual drive-in restaurants where the food would be brought out by people on
Car
roller
hops.
skates, the car hops, and hung on the windows on trays.
Mm-hmm.
And oh Lord, big old mugs of root beer, ice cold. It didn't matter whether or not the chili dogs were any good. Once you took a bite of a chili dog and got a good swig of that root beer, all was right with the world.
Rich will know what I'm talking about. Hannah's in Valpo. Hannon's root beer stand.
Never went.
No.
No, I didn't hang out much in Valpo.
Okay.
I was a Lake County boy on the Four Seasons side, so we didn't mix with Porter County much.
Gotcha. Yep.
Mm.
We were highfalutin over on Lake County side, or at least we thought we were.
Mm.
Our farmer tans weren't quite as bad.
No, we had a root beer stand in Valpo called Hannon's Root Beer Stand, and they served, it was a drive up just like what you were talking about. Brought it out on roller skates, set it on the side of the window. Oh man, they had some good root beer.
I thought you were
they
going to
poured-
mention A&W and Knox.
See, only time I've really gone to Knox is for work. But no, Hannon's was when they shut down and they tore down the building. I want to say a bank bought the land, built. I might have been sent here, one of them. Someone bought the land, built a whole new building and business. Left the old Hannon's root beer because it was a big ass mug that rotated and lit up. Left it up there.
That's what that used to be. Okay.
Yep, they left it up there because they knew everybody in Valpo and surrounding areas. If they said, "Yeah, we're at the old Hannon's," they'd know exactly where they were talking about.
Well, that's also one of those things where, like Howie, if they ever get rid of Howie, people will riot. People rioted in Maryville when Howie moved to Valpo for Kelsey's.
Yep.
Because Howie used to be outside Bernanke's Meat and Fish.
Mm-hmm. Howie almost got stolen.
Back in my day.
Mm.
But buddy of mine had plans of relocating Howie. He so statute of limitations, I'm pretty sure, is up on this.
I would have paid to help. I would have paid to help that.
So, a buddy of mine went on a gnome stealing spree.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I've heard this story before.
Yes.
I thought this was the guy.
And the final thing was he was going to steal Howie the cow, put him in the field, and then reorient all the gnomes to look like they were worshiping Howie. I still would have loved to have seen the look on that developer's face when they went back to review that land to just find a whole sea of gnomes.
Because that his gnome playground was right behind the cemetery there, across 30 from across the university on 30, right?
No, this is off 49. Cemetery a little farther north. But yeah, I would have paid good money to see the look on the developer's face walking back there, and here's this wide open field, and there's just gnomes all set up in different scenes.
What would have been even better is if there was some type of speaker and tape system, so you just had the sound of gnomes worshiping on repeat.
Yeah, but
You can do that nowadays.
You also got to figure this. You know, he quit acquiring gnomes several years before that.
Oh, Chris, do you remember the outrage when somebody threatened to tear down the big chicken?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, we had something like that here.
You can tell the story better than I can. Go for it.
I don't remember exact details, but somebody had brought up that they were talking about tearing the big chicken down, and when word got out, it was all over the radio, TV, newspapers.
Now,
People that normally wouldn't give a crap about anything.
Look out, Ethel.
You
Too late.
can't do this.
She's been mooned.
Originally, it was the location of a KFC.
It's still a KFC underneath.
Oh, it still is?
yes.
I didn't know they still had it. Oh, wow. I thought it was just a landmark now.
And it is one of the biggest KFCs in existence.
Well, it
because
stands
you've got
5
to have
stories
a
tall.
You got to have a fairly big base to support a big chicken that huge on the roof.
This is true.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, there was a restaurant here in town called the Red Rooster. And they had a giant red rooster that sat at the corner of Ridge Road and Michigan Street. And they shut down shortly after the pandemic. And the car lot that was there bought up the land, tore down the building to expand. You know, it was a used car lot. They wanted to expand out. And people were asking them, "We're going to leave the Red Rooster up, right?" They're, "No. You idiots. You do realize that is the one landmark in this area that all you got to do is say, hey, we're the car lot by the Red Rooster. People will find you."
Uh-huh.
You know, it was when you were
People will
giving
find you
directions-
just because of that.
Yeah. When you gave directions in the area, it wasn't, turn right on Michigan. It was turn right when you see the Red Rooster.
And the worst part of it is, if you tear the Red Rooster down, people will find you.
Yeah, I don't know who ended up with it. It's no longer there.
It
took-
turns 60 this year.
The big chicken?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had a minor landmark in my area. It had been there for decades, probably since the Depression, was a little gas station, general store sort of thing called Fortson's Store.
Okay, there you go, Dan. There's your picture you can share.
Okay.
Let's give
And
you an idea how big it is, because there's a medium-duty truck in front of it.
yeah, it's smaller than I remember it to be. Really, I mean, seriously, it's smaller than I remember it to be.
Well,
Um,
Dan,
when
you
I was-
probably saw it when you was a kid, and it looked freaking huge then.
that was exactly what I was going to say. It probably, yeah, more than likely, that was exactly the reason. But I thought it was like Godzilla sized.
That's a
You
big
know.
damn chicken.
That's a big damn chicken. And that truck's just loaded with mashed potatoes, so that lets you know. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to know that it is still an operating KFC.
Well, it's right there at 41 and the 120 loop, I think, or it could be Highway 120. So
It's bad when you're looking at pictures of your cock and it's smaller than you remember.
No, you're just getting old. And quit watching my porn.
Swallow, Richard. We don't spit in this house.
As I was saying,
he doesn't kink shame here.
Unless it involves horses.
If you can pull this up real quick, Dan, this was the red rooster that sat out in front of the building. Not as big as your chicken, but still noticeable.
Few things can compete with the big chicken.
that'll feed a family of 5 for about 6 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One
Yes,
of
Richie, I'm going to keep feeding you straight lines.
Now we're sitting around comparing our cocks.
Do so at your own risk.
Oh, Lord.
As I was saying about Fortson's Store,
Donna's going to be so pissed she missed this episode.
yeah, but you know, she was in pain. So
Yeah.
imagine Josh. He's sitting there laughing his ass off right now, going,
I don't
think I got enough meds to cope with this. When it came time for this Depression era gas station general store to be torn down, and they replaced it with a golden pantry. And believe me, there's a Dollar General and a Family Dollar right close by. They actually tore down a bank to build the Family Dollar.
Yeah.
The one thing that everybody demanded was that they leave the original, had been standing there for 50 years sign, says Fortson's Store. And they officially the county renamed it Fortson's Crossing, where that red light is.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knows where it is. Even if you've never seen the little store, even if you've never... And I had stopped there for gas and went in and bought potato chips or whatever. Hey, Michaela. That
Dan,
sign is still standing there.
I'm about to share another photo that will bring back some memories.
Hey, Michaela.
Okay.
Back in the day, a number of
Holy shit.
cities had what they called the multi-purpose stadiums, which were supposed to usually hold football and baseball in. Atlanta was no different because they were awarded the Braves and the Falcons in 1966. So Atlanta Fulton County Stadium was built. And after the Olympics, because they held baseball as an Olympic sport during the 96 Olympics, it was demolished and turned into a parking lot for what became Turner Field, which was the Olympic Stadium. Well, so the stadium was not completely lost to memory, and only in photographs that somebody managed to save. There is a wall on the parking lot that has the outline of the stadium. So the stadium was round, and it doesn't cover the whole thing, but there's probably maybe a third of the outline of the stadium as a wall in that parking lot. It's not completely all the way up. It's probably as high as the top of the club level, which you can kind of see the smaller area there.
Yeah. I can remember having to drive around that. I would have been in that traffic trying to get someplace else.
Folks, that is the frontage road that was in front of it. I-75 was on the other side of that road that you see those cars on. It used to be 2 lanes in each direction.
Remember
It's now 6 lanes in each direction.
And it's still overcrowded. Oh.
There are 12 lanes of traffic there.
Oh my goodness.
And you were talking about the drive-thrus where the bellhops would come out there and bring you food to you.
Yeah.
The Varsity is actually the world's largest drive-in. And it used to be a truly unique experience before they put the point of sale system in, because it was it was crazier than a 3-ring circus with everything going on at all 3 rings at once.
Mm-hmm.
They were hollering crap. I mean, they would holler your orders clear across the restaurant behind the counter.
And you might not be able to understand the word, but your order was right when you got it.
They give you the right stuff. And you were amazed. And whatever they were paying those folks at the time was not enough, because just the
Minimum
sheer
wage,
utter
mostly.
chaos. And you winded up with your exact correct order
Every time.
was the most amazing thing ever.
Now, I had never been to the varsity in Atlanta. I had been to both of the varsities that were in Athens. Now, apparently, since both of the original ones in Athens have been torn down, they're rebuilding it out near the tail end of 316.
Yeah.
I want to go. I miss them onion rings.
Well, unfortunately, the one in Atlanta, which is on North Street, may eventually be tore down because it is on some of the most valuable land in the city.
That's what happened with the 2 in Athens. One of them was right in the middle of downtown, and it was the little one. The other one survived for another 20 or 30 years. But just recently, they decided it would be better off being a grocery store and tore it down, and everybody is going, You remember what Sherman did to Atlanta? We're about to do that to you. The outrage was palpable. You could feel it a county away. I just really do not know how this story is going to turn out because it's not over yet. But I have yet to see that grocery store get built. I think somebody decided that they might ought to wait another 2 or 3 generations so nobody can remember that the varsity used to be there. I really do miss it. Let's see here. Did y'all know you started a Patreon? Oh, writing naughty stories that cross way over the lines of romance novels. Well, you definitely need to get paid for that in installments.
Mhm.
And it'll keep you busy. I hope it's really, really successful.
That's not the best photo, but I was able to find it. There
Okay.
is a.
Ooh,
That's the downtown Atlanta one,
yeah,
and it's 2 floors.
yeah.
There's a deck.
It looks a whole lot bigger than the one in Athens. And I mean the large one because the little one downtown would have only taken up just barely a quarter of that.
But
Oh,
as you look south, you can see the Westin Peachtree, which is the round circular hotel with the elevator on the outside. They do have some internal ones, but it always gained fame because of the glass elevator on the outside.
now I want 2 chili dogs to order onion rings and no, I'm not going to ask for the ice cream. I know that story. Oh Lord, I do hope that whatever replacement varsity they build in Athens lives up to the quality, and not the lack of same, but the quality of what we had in the 2 that were in Athens. I when I was a university student, I would walk from my classroom to the little bitty one downtown,
Yeah.
and for less than $5, I got a huge meal in the middle of the day, and then would go marching back to the university for the rest of my classes that day. It was, I might spend $3, but I got a full meal.
Well, here's the crazy thing. I went to see a playoff game at Marist High School, which that is on some very expensive land. I think it's affiliated with the Roman Catholic Church. When I
That's
went,
expensive.
there was a long driveway, and this is in among trees, amongst skyscrapers. And you know how they'll have these little brick buildings with roll-up doors that they do their concessions at, where you buy the food? Well, normal time they got some, little operation where they're just buying some store-bought hot dogs and selling them and all that. They had the varsity catering their concession stand.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'm just like, holy crap.
Michaela just said she remembers in college they discovered they had cheese fries on the menu for $1.35, and it was a full dinner plate size. We lived on those that first year.
Yeah, I would have probably done that too.
Mm-hmm.
What I used to do is ever so often I would, be with some family I was staying with when I was in college because it was a great deal. I basically had the basement to myself, and I could go do whatever I want to. If I wanted to go out and eat, I could do that, or if I wanted to stay home, if they fixed something or went and got something, I got to eat that too. Well, they used to go to Sonny's Barbecue and get their big family meals.
Mm-hmm.
And we could feed a lot of people for a good price.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I went to Ivy Tech, I was basically like a summer intern, summer helper for the IT department. It was a paid position.
Yeah.
Barely, but it was a paid position. And I went through, and I would normally forget to pack a lunch or anything, and Ivy Tech isn't exactly a big college. It's
Yeah.
a small town or small time. I shouldn't even say it's small time because they've got multiple campuses throughout the state, but they didn't have actual cafeteria.
It wasn't the big fancy.
No, we had what you called the suicide machine. You took your life into your own hands buying anything out of it.
Yeah.
Which the barbecue pork sandwich wasn't too bad, but
Yeah.
I never trusted the tuna salad or chicken salad because Lord knows how long that had been in there.
Yeah.
Well, we had the infamous B&D cafeteria for a long time. It had two alternate names. There was the polite name and there was the blunt name.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was something in Davis. That was the official name of the cafe. But the plot name was Bite and Die. And the blunt name was Barf and Die.
Mm-hmm.
And before I graduated, they brought in a major cafeteria company to run things, and it got a significant upgrade. Of course, prices went up too, but
Yeah. I had the cafeteria at PNC one time when I had to take the wife up there when her car had died, so I had to take her to class. And I sat down. This is when I first really realized she was using her actual first name of Trelena.
Mm-hmm.
And because all throughout high school she went by Nicole. And she takes me down to the cafeteria, grab a booth, and she goes, "Yeah, I'll make sure some of my friends pop down, keep you company, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, just screwing around on the laptop, and someone walks up and they go, "Oh, are you Trelena's boyfriend?" And I went, "Who?" Not even thinking about it because I don't call her that. I call her Nicole most of the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, I was looking for Trelena's boyfriend." When Trelena, oh yeah, that's me. Yeah, I had to explain several times that day why I looked confused when people would call her that.
Only the names have been changed to make Joe look like an idiot.
Right?
The one thing a lot of the students on campus like doing was they like walking over several city blocks, was go to the Texas restaurant because if you were over 21, you could drink beer there.
Yeah, I don't remember what I ate there that day.
But you could
Wasn't
walk a little further than that, and they had Popeyes, they had Chick-fil-A, they had Subway, they had Burger King. And if you went in the opposite direction, right there as you got to Grady Hospital, there was a McDonald's there at the street level.
Michaela gave you an out.
Yeah.
It's a little late, but hey,
Yeah.
it's a very useful out.
Hey, at least she's participating in the show
Hey,
when she's not counting her Patreon money.
no, I mean it was a little late for Joe.
Yeah.
He'd already committed to football years ago, but
Yeah.
you know that's on the level of the regret you have when you think of the right comeback hours after you could have used it.
Oh, yeah. We've all experienced that at one point in time.
Oh yeah. 10 or 12 cafeterias, you know. Yeah. Now,
If
as
you're
far
big
as I
enough
know,
campus,
as far as I know, the University of Georgia still only has 2 actual university cafeterias, but it's right
okay.
there in the middle of downtown.
I sit
So
correct.
you can walk to just about any kind of restaurant you want, from gyro wraps to the spaghetti store to a Blimpies to
Wait a minute. Y'all still have Blimpies in operation?
no, but it used to be there. I think Subway has completely eliminated the Blimpies, but I think Blimpies was a little bit better, but Subway's really good in most places.
Well,
There
the
was
biggest
there was
growing.
there's another one where I used to go, and I would get a deluxe omelet. I started to call it the magic mushroom, but no, that was a different place entirely. Mellow mushroom was the name of this particular
Yeah.
one, and then the small varsity downtown, and all kinds of places around that. Uh, one of the motels next door to the university had a breakfast bar, lunch bar, whatever. Depending on what time of day your classes were, you could walk a couple of blocks and go over to there, and it was really affordable. I mean, it was college student affordable.
hmm
I would walk about 5 miles to get to the taco stand that everybody picks on me about because it's only got a parking lot in the front. There ain't no parking in the back. Um, I have been known to drive to that taco stand, get my burrito deluxe combo, my jumbo taco, my jumbo spinach quesadilla, and then drive about 6 or 8 blocks up Millage Avenue to the varsity and get 2 orders of onion rings and go back to my apartment and eat until I could not move. Oh.
So you're trying to say they were missionary friendly?
Oh. I don't know about missionaries, but I sure needed some help. Um, Heavenly day. No, but University of Georgia, there are so many different places you could get to within walking distance.
Yeah.
Because usually, unless you were staff, you had to park way away. It took me about 20 minutes to walk from the parking lot I was assigned to get to the football stadium around where all of my classes were. And there were two places on campus that weren't the assigned cafeterias, where you had to have a meal plan and cards and stuff like that to go in there and actually eat. But the psychology journalism building had lots of vending machines, and in the basement of the philosophy building,
Yeah, that's a lot of density, Josh.
there's a place called Hole in the Wall, which was a much smaller place filled with vending machines, and basically just about every building that had classrooms in it had a section set aside for vending machines. Some of them really big, like psychology journalism. Some of them really small, like the psychology. But it was no matter what your budget was, you could find something to fill your belly. If you were trying to get by on $3 a day, you could manage it back in the 70s. If you had $5, you could go downtown and get a huge meal. If you were rich, you could go to a fancy restaurant. And I'm not talking about the suit and tie steak places that they had downtown, but there's one that even beyond suit and tie. This was one that people went to when they were in their tux and evening gown from high school proms and whatnot. They did great business for that. I think, and that's called Martell's. It may still be in business. I've only seen the outside of it because I'm not rich, but really, really neat. Really, really neat. And yes, if you're willing to walk a little further, or you got access to your car and don't have to worry about the university parking lots, you can hit up all the fast food places. There's a McDonald's there that's been in business since before we walked on the moon, and it's still in the same place, and probably still has the same grease in the French fry frying machines. It's got to be getting good by now, fermented even. But, all these memories, thank you. I had forgotten a lot of my childhood, just
all
because
the
there was so much
moisture
of it.
sucked out of my mouth when you said that, Dan.
What?
About McDonald's still having the same grease in the fryers.
Don't they all? I mean, what do you think, they're going to throw it away? Although nowadays there are companies buying it up and turning it into fake diesel fuel.
There is, I think it's a place in Chicago. They've been using the same oil to fry their hamburgers in for 100 years.
What?
They keep a flame on it at all times so it stays hot. And I mean, they've added oil to it, of course, but they've never done a full, dump it out and start over.
There are crumbs of hamburgers floating around on the bottom of that thing that have been there since the Civil War. No wonder Sherman burned Atlanta. He couldn't find the hamburger race. The varsity hadn't been invented yet.
And with that, I'm tapping out. I am beat to hell. I might see you guys later on tonight in the green room. Well, technically tomorrow night. There's still an hour left of today.
It's officially midnight here in the East Coast.
But it depends on what exactly Misty and I are doing for our anniversary. Because
Happy anniversary!
Yeah.
well, for you guys, it's already my anniversary. For us, in about an hour, it'll be 19 years of marriage.
Congratulations. Happy
You're both
anniversary.
you're both still alive. That's a plus.
I'm still trying to figure out why the hell is she still married to me. I'm not complaining. I'm very happy that she's still married to me, but
You
I don't
must be
know.
doing something right.
I don't know what penance she's paying off, but
Actually, my point was going to be you don't know what good deed you did in a previous life, but you're glad you did it because you're
I'm
getting the
glad I did
reward
whatever
now.
I did right. I'm glad whatever she did wrong.
Oh, come on now. She's your wife. She never does anything wrong.
And we're glad you came in for to participate in tonight's show.
Yeah.
All right. Love you guys. I'll see you guys later.
Good
Take
night,
See
care.
you,
Rich.
Rich.
Bye.
Lindsay was saying uh, this year was our 19th Christmas together. So we have been married for 18 years.
Oh wow.
And by next LibertyCon, it'll be 19 years. Because usually LibertyCon is right around the same time as our anniversary. So we are going to celebrate my pensioner status and throw down as best we can
Mm-hmm.
with all our friends around us, hopefully. Gonna be something to see. Gonna be something to see.
Well, I hate to say it, but I need to tap out also. I'm actually surprised I've made it to 11 o'clock. But,
Congratulations, and we
Hey, that's
appreciate
quite all
your effort.
right. That's quite all right. Don't fret and enjoyed your company on both shows. Thank you.
but I will see y'all tomorrow night, most likely in the green room, and
All right.
see some of you tomorrow on Nick's show.
Alrighty.
So,
If I wake up in time
Yeah.
and after doing the show, that's a big if.
right. I get that. But y'all
Michaela,
have a
you
good
don't.
one, and
Yep.
I'll see you later.
All right. Take care, Joe. You don't look old enough to have been involved that long.
Oh, Michaela. You can't even be 35 years old. What was this, an arranged marriage from the cradle? And you are welcome to join us even if you are typing from the tub.
Yeah, just be careful and not let that phone slip.
Oh. Got together when he was 15. When she was
You
15 and
was
he was
15.
17.
Yeah. Dang it, girl.
Hey, lucky people. Lucky people. Both of you.
Probably.
Put that footage on your Patreon, you'd get more interesting stories too. That was a rude thing to say, Daniel. That was evil. Don't think that way.
Yeah, it's not the green room, Daniel.
It don't have to be. My mind works in mysterious ways no matter what I do. Usually purient, but always mysterious. Oh. Still debating that. House it was, yeah. Or whose, yes. Uh, an armed family is a polite family. Um,
Well, it might just be for sheer damn spite now.
no, they're just staying married to piss off the kids.
That's what I said, for sheer damn spite, just to prove somebody else like, we told you we'd stay married. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh no, not at all. Um, well, there's nothing wrong with those.
No.
Not that I would know. Um, but you look really good in one of those medieval dresses. I'll tell you that right now, with no shame whatsoever.
Yeah. She definitely gonna catch somebody's eye wearing that outfit.
Hey, I embarrassed her once at Hallowcon, commenting on, sorry, my eyes haven't gotten that high yet. I love those hips. Hey,
Oh,
I'm a man of simple pleasures. Um,
oh
prob-
man, that's funny.
probably had something to do with me being an art student most of my life, but I always enjoyed figure drawing classes, even though
Whether you're good at it or
we'll not
not,
go there. It's not the green room.
at least
Oh,
to you it's enjoyable.
it's very, very difficult trying to do art when the model that has volunteered for that day is exceptionally lovely. And
Yes, sometimes that's too big of a distraction to overcome.
well, and then sometimes it's so inspiring. You don't want the class to end because you're
Mhm.
still drawing. I mean, w- yes, you do. Um, and I will say that and freely admit that normally um, I have a preference with um, appreciating ladies that have a figure like a guitar and not a perfect hourglass. But I am not adverse to the perfect hourglass by any means whatsoever, or any
Mhm.
other combination. Um, as Alice Cooper once famously said, I really, 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 really like girls. Um,
Mhm.
somewhere in my vinyl album collection is a extended full size 12-inch 45 RPM record of that, and it's on both
Mhm.
sides, so that the DJs could put either side of the album on, and it would be the same thing. But it was only a single song. Uh,
Mhm.
I don't know how I managed to find something that would have gone to basically a radio station. Probably in some secondhand record store somewhere.
Mhm.
I have found real treasures in secondhand or secondhand record stores back in the day. Um,
Mhm.
started my lifelong obsession with Bill Nelson and Bebop Deluxe through the cutout bins at the University of Georgia bookstore.
Mhm.
Hey, yeah, full size. Uh, yeah. Um,
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about Aerosmith's big 10-inch record.
uh-huh. This was it's full size vinyl. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, but it is a 45. So, um, and if you listen to it on 78, you'll see God and everything, just like Black Sabbath said. No, Cheech and Chong. Should play back Black Sabbath on 78 RPMs. You see God and everything.
Yeah.
But then they had access to the good stuff. Not like this bargain basement stuff that we had in college. Um,
Hey, I used to love going into Camelot when they'd have the CDs and the clearance bins,
mm,
because sometimes you find some really good deals.
you remember Turtles records?
Mm-hmm. I remember Turtles. I remember Cats. I remember Record Bar. I remember
I
when they merged.
I spent a lot of my weekly paycheck in used books at one bookstore, used records at another store, brand new books, brand new magazines at different newsstands. I think at one time I had 14 different comic books
Mm-hmm.
and 5 or 6 different magazines, comic magazines that I would buy every every month or some of them every week. They would come out in staggered order. So I'd go shopping all the time. Um, brand new books at the 2 bookstores that used to be at the mall. Um,
B. Dalton and Walden books.
uh, don't think it was a B. Dalton. One of them I think was Walden Books. Another one was I'm not sure, but about a block away was a Books a Million, and
Yeah.
about two blocks the other way was a Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
So you know, if it's the written word, I spent money on it.
Well,
A
I'll tell
lot.
you what used to be my favorite store.
Oh, wait. We've got this is the link to Michaela's
Mm-hmm.
Patreon. Folks, check it out. Um, now I have read Michaela's stuff, and it is
Yeah.
very good. It is very good, and I'm saying that without any prejudice whatsoever. Um, and I don't say that about everybody whose books I read. Um, I
Good
should.
night, Michaela.
Yeah.
Appreciate you joining in
Good night, Michaela. Yeah, day job.
and and,
Uh,
and, and your flirtation and teasing.
Fix or it didn't happen. Uh,
Yeah.
that was evil. Shut up,
She
Dan.
she'd give us both a heart attack if she'd sent pics.
No, but I might have to move a couple of pictures of Betty Page. Just a couple.
I'm just being facetious.
Mm.
Oh Lord.
Have we
I
run out
dread
of
going
topics?
I dread going back to work next week.
Um, I'm kind of on the fence. You know, next week will be my next to the last day.
Mm-hmm.
There's Not a lot of actual work for me to do, but I do have to finish cleaning out the filing cabinets and all the shelves in my office,
Yeah.
in my lab, excuse me. I don't have an office, I have a lab.
Yeah.
And I've got to clean out a lot of stuff from my locker because after Tuesday, I'm going to have that thing totally empty and ready to turn over to some new employee who
Yeah.
will not know me from Adam and not know that I've had the locker in that space for almost half a century and probably wouldn't give a shit either way. Um, I've already started saying goodbye to folks that I've been working with for quite a while that are
Mhm.
still there. Um, I'm not going to miss the work. I
No.
am going to miss the people.
Yep. That's usually the way it is when you leave any job. It's
I've been lucky enough to work with some really awesome people. Um, I've been unlucky enough to work with some really awesome jerks, but learning how to deal with them turned me into the polite, patient, and well-spoken person that I am now.
it allowed you to stay gainfully employed until you've officially reached retirement.
Hey, now the job itself that paid for what a a dozen and a half different cars,
Mm-hmm.
apartments all over, a mobile home, a house, um,
Yeah.
3 marriages, um, the stepchildren that were actually there
Mm-hmm.
during the marriage, the ones that came and visited just every once in a while. I didn't have to support Lindsay's kids because they were already well on up there by the time I actually physically met her.
Hmm.
Even though we had known each other online for a decade before it was ever, we were both not married to other people at the time and
Mm-hmm.
could have the romance. But and that's probably one reason why we're still together because we respected each other enough when we were with other people not to try and fool around.
Yeah.
So we didn't fool around with each other. Probably not ever going to fool around on each other. And for almost 20 years, that has been entirely true and will
That's
remain
definitely
true.
good.
Yeah, it's very grounding to have that kind of stability. Um, paid for an entire recording studio full of musical instruments that I used to have back in one of my apartments. Um, all the artwork that I did, there's stuff in about 3 different little private galleries all over the South, from
Mm.
Texas to Georgia. Um, oh, um, and a lot of fun, just a lot of fun, and meeting lots and lots of different people, and just making friends and learning how to be somebody worth being around because I was really, really
Mm-hmm.
shy and kind of shut in, and the job kind of helped me explore all aspects of my personality there where I became somebody that was not annoying all the time to know, just some of the time. Um, A lot of changes, a lot of firsts,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of lasts.
Yeah.
It's been an experience I wouldn't have traded. I wouldn't be who I am today without it. I probably would be not as emotionally or in terms of maturity, I would not be as well off as I am.
Yeah.
And it's the end of an era, but it's also the beginning of another one.
Yep. Oh. If you will pardon me, Dan, I need to be off camera for a little bit.
Go right ahead. I'll just sit here and stare at the camera and make people really uncomfortable. Um, like I need an excuse to monologue. Um, no. Um, is well, let's be honest here. As absolutely frightening as it is to, after all these many years, be about to face not having that weekly paycheck ever again, having to depend on the investment company for my pension, for same investment company for my 401k, having to jump through hoops to get the Medicare and Social Security and uh, privately purchased insurance. Um, all that stuff is scary. It really is. But it's not insurmountable. It's, well, it is flaming hoops you've got to jump through. Everybody's going to have to do it. Depending on the circumstances, they may not have all the safety belts that I've got, but I worked my butt off in order to get those, and that's the reward of spending so long, working so hard, making everything, making everything go. Let me answer. Emily's getting with us here. Let me kill that last photo. Click on the screen, Dan.
I am back.
Good. Emily may be here in a few minutes.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh, yes. I love her sense of humor.
Oh yeah. She's funny. She's cute. She's definitely a joy to have on.
Yes, yes, indeed. Um,
Oh,
she's in a very short list of people that I wish I could spend more time with, both online and, unfortunately, impossibly offline. But you know,
you want to
just
know who
people
I
that are
miss?
fun to be around.
I miss Thessaly.
I do too. I do too. She's working very hard on her degree. She's still playing her violin. Um, and other than that, I can't glean too many details of what's going on in her life without, you from her Facebook post, and that's
Yeah.
that's the only place I get to see her. But I really miss Thessaly. She's amazing.
Oh, I don't know if I ever got to finish my thought, but I used to love going to Media Play because they had three of my favorite things in the whole wide world. music, movie, and books.
It sounds like my kind of store. Really does. Um,
Unfortunately, they suffered from all the people that were used to getting free downloads of stuff,
yeah.
and the economy taking a turn for the worse.
Actually, I think we had the advantage there because we were pre-download. I mean, physical media was the only way to get the media, unless
Yeah,
you
well,
wanted.
I liked having physical media because once you bought it, you owned it.
Yeah, nobody
And
could ever take it away from you.
not only that, I was a firm believer in the bands getting some compensation for their work.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
yeah,
and
I understand you don't have a lot of money and you want free music and all that, which I get it, but these people were trying to make a living and they're providing something that you enjoy. You ought to be able to at least contribute something to their efforts.
yeah, and it's not like back in the day when you were making mixtapes off the radio,
Yeah.
because the DJ would always talk at the worst possible time. When your
What
favorite
was
song came on and you actually had the tape recorder there ready to go.
what was awesome though was when they'd come back from a long commercial break and they'd talk over it and they'd start playing music and then you would catch a song where they didn't talk all over it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you had to have the time to do that.
You had to be there at the right time
You
with
had
the
to
right
have that.
equipment set up and ready to go.
Yeah, you had to have those fingers ready to hit record and play at the same time and then hit pause at the exact right moment
Yep.
and then stop. Especially if they were going into about to start another commercial break and they usually talked all over the damn song.
Or it was time for the news.
Yeah.
When they had lots of excuses. They had to do this stuff. It was part of the job. But
Dan, have you
um,
ever gone to McKay's bookstore?
I think I have. Yes.
It's
Don't
really
remember
neat.
where, but
There's one up there in Chattanooga, off 75. It's not far from Lee Highway either. But yeah, they've got movies, music, books, instruments, some instruments, computer games, movies. They've got albums. I went there the other day and found a few hidden gems.
um, I know she has. Oh, come on. I know she's talking
Yeah,
on the one that had the link, but I'm just going to post it again just for her.
yeah,
That way she doesn't have to scroll back up. So,
yeah.
no, there used to be one that I really loved in Atlanta. It's called the Book Nook,
Mm-hmm.
and you go in there. It's like a big library, but it was a bookstore, and
Yeah,
that's where I got all my Doctor Who paperbacks and got um, filled up some of the Doctor Who collection, or not Doctor Who, Doc Savage. Um,
yeah.
Found all kinds of neat things that I would uh, not usually see anywhere else because they had a huge footprint and were buying stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
people were coming in there. It was, if you can imagine a Walmart of a bookstore,
Mm-hmm.
this was about it. There several other places. There was I wish I could remember where that one I would go to that not only had a pretty decent science fiction and fantasy book collection, but they would also have um, comics and graphic novel,
Mm-hmm.
magazine-sized graphic novels. I can't remember where that one was. It wasn't Barnes Noble. Um, I don't think it was one of the two bookstores at the mall. Um, and it wasn't either of the two newsstands that I
Mm-hmm.
went to for any of the magazines that I bought. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
used to buy um, Starlog and Future and Omni and things like that.
Yeah.
But, I don't remember where this thing was. I remember going through it and I go, this is just like the toy store that I used to go to in Knoxville. It's
Mm-hmm.
old fashioned. It's handcrafted wooden shelves and everything's on it. And you got to sort through stuff because there might be something hidden behind something else that you really would like to have the thing that was hidden.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't hunt through it, you didn't know it was there. Um, it
Yeah.
was like a treasure hunt. It was really like a treasure hunt
Mm-hmm.
to go through some of these places. Um, and then there places that didn't have anything to do with books or magazines or comics or records. Just um,
Mm-hmm.
secondhand stores, junk shops, scattered all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and some of them were really low budget to, they could just barely afford the uh, the rent on the storefront, but
Mm-hmm.
they were just loaded with stuff, and
Yeah.
the prices were really affordable. I mean, um, like a cutout record bin for 50 cents a piece for records from bands you've never heard of, and some of them are really great, but they never actually made the big time. Books. There was one I discovered a stash of tins of JFG restaurant coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought every tin of that coffee I could find, and it lasted me about 6 or 8 months. But when it was gone, it was gone. Sort of like fire sale stores.
Yeah. Well, I found this little gem.
Little River Band, all right.
Um, their lead singer had left the band around 82.
Mm-hmm.
And Glenn Schrock. And then they found a young John Farnham. John Farnham is a legend in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, John Farnham left, and Glenn Schrock rejoined the band. Well, when he rejoined the band, I think Graham Goebel had taken some time off. He rejoined the band. I may be mistaken about that. But that's one of the last albums that they did with more or less the classic lineup. Now, Wayne Nelson was the bass player that sang a lot of the lead on Night Owls.
Yeah.
Well, he was a bit sneaky. They didn't. they didn't have the best legal counsel, and he gained control over the band name.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Yeah, so it wasn't long after that there were some
Shenanigans.
there was some dissension, to say the least, within the band. And Chirac and Goebel and Bertels all formed their own band, and they were competing against each other, and I don't think it's ever been resolved. But that was one of the last albums that had most of the main original players in it.
It's amazing how many bands out there that may still be performing today
Mm.
on the basis of the name. And there may be one or none of the original members in the ones that are actually using the name, but the original members can't use the name
Mm-hmm.
because somebody shenanigans.
Yeah.
Somebody figured out a dodge, something
Yeah.
sneaky, and
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it does happen.
it does happen, and it happens entirely too often to suit me. But who am I? I'm just this guy that listens to music, and
Well, one of the latest controversies, we've probably seen the end of Hall and Oates.
I have heard about that just recently. Yes. Now I don't understand the full situation,
It's
but it
my
may.
understanding that John Oates and, a lot of these artists, especially getting up in age, have sold their music rights for a large lump sum of money, which means they get this large lump sum and they don't get any more royalties from it. That's kind of like their retirement nest egg.
Uh-huh. And what
And,
happens to their partner whose name was also on this? Yeah.
and Daryl Hall didn't want that to happen, so there's court injunction been filed, and plus probably some other stuff that we don't know about. But anyway,
And we may never know. Yeah.
I'm glad I got to see them perform together before this happened.
Yes. Now, wasn't there a time when Michael Jackson owned most of the Beatles catalog?
Yes, this is one of the things that led to some frosty relations between him and Paul McCartney, because they performed the song in the video "Say Say Say" together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Michael Jackson was making a fortune off Thriller at the time, and Off the Wall he made a pretty good chunk of change too, because he was one of the few minorities that got played on mainstream radio back then.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking with McCartney and asking him was a good investment for his money, and McCartney mentioned, owning the publishing rights to music was, to certain music was fine. He wasn't thinking about Michael Jackson going behind him and purchasing up the Beatles music rights.
Yes.
And like I said, that led to a certain frostiness, their relationship
There was
afterwards.
a touch of bad blood there. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Which would explain the sudden influx of TV commercials with Beatles music
mm-hmm.
that didn't fit anything having to do with the product.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, um,
Well, you know, when Michael Jackson got into all that legal trouble, he eventually had to sell his Neverland Ranch, and he probably had to sell the rights to the music because he was, you know, it's not a good thing when you have to sell your most profitable possessions to the most valuable possessions to stay afloat financially and pay for lawyers if you get into legal trouble.
yeah, really, when you know for a fact the lawyers are going to get 99% of whatever it is you're
Yeah.
raising money for.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Um, hey, it happens. It
Yeah.
happens. Um,
Yeah, there's been more than one person that's lost their fortune hiring lawyers.
yeah. Um, there was a saying back in the day, the easiest way to lose your $1 million is to have to hire a lawyer to defend it.
Yeah. Can you say
Um,
Phil Spector, anyone?
well,
I know he
Phil had some other problems that
I
some
didn't say he
folks.
didn't deserve it, but you know.
I didn't say nothing about, but evidently back in the day he was kind of problematic, and everybody overlooked it because
Hmm.
he had this producer power.
Yeah.
And then
But
finally,
you also have instances of people that were producers and managers and stuff like that that were good to their folks.
hey Emily,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm doing bittersweet pretty good. This is our last day in Seattle, like full day. Tomorrow we take
Mhm.
our flight back at like 7ish, and then we're spending New Year's uh in Paducah in Kentucky. So our time schedules are gonna be all fucked up.
Paducah, I've been there
Well,
before.
I think
Been a
we've
I've
long
been
all
to
time.
been to Paducah.
I've been to Kentucky before, but never Paducah. Most usually Louisville.
Oh yeah, I went there for auditions one time.
Oh, I like Louisville.
I've got family that lives there.
I'm trying to see how charged you are. Are you charged enough that I can wheel you around and peel off stickers? Okay. Sorry. There we go.
All
And
right.
roll you around here because I have to take off the stickers or the hotel will charge us because, you know, hotels like to charge you for everything.
Of course. They like doing that.
It's kind
Yeah,
of their forte.
yeah. Well, if they charge you $4 for a bottle of water,
Oh, I wish it was $4. It's like $8.
Good grief.
You want to drink water? You got to be special.
You
I'll
gotta
go to
be
the tap,
rich.
thank you. I ain't opening no sealed containers in a hotel room.
Don't even move them. Don't touch
Hell,
them.
you
Don't
could buy a
move 'em.
case for cheaper than that.
Did
I
you
have.
guys have good holidays?
Oh
Yeah.
yes. Um, got to spend Christmas Day over at Mama's,
Oh,
and
yay.
yes, and she's 82 years old, and
Well,
she's
Merry
walking kind of
Christmas.
bent over, but she's still fairly sharp. Um, and I got her a copy of the my first book that's been re-released, the
Mm-hmm.
one that actually has the dedication that should have been there at the beginning. And she
Mm-hmm.
read it and she like cried. And
Aw.
I'm
I would,
I'm
yeah.
sitting there, I'm watching her read it, and I damn near cried myself.
Well, yeah, because you're dedicating and she's done a lot for you and
Oh, she's
made
done
you who
everything.
you
She's done
are.
everything. My entire family. I mean, seriously, I couldn't have done this without the support of my friends and my family and a lot of people that became the equivalent of family amongst my friends.
No, I get what you mean. Like, I have pseudo brothers that are like my brother's friends, but they're more like my brothers, but just because I've known them and he's known them forever. So I feel, yeah, like their families rejected them or whatnot. So,
The only bad thing that happened was my sister told me to um, buy ham for the breakfast.
Mhm.
So I bought a nice little packet of ham,
She was
and
meaning ham steak, I'm guessing.
well, that's what I brought.
Yeah.
And she brought the same damn thing.
Mhm.
Um, and she took charge of hers, and my little brother took charge of mine and laid it on a pan. It's already pre-cooked. It just needed to be warmed up. He put it in the oven and then walked into the living room and started talking to mom.
Can you move that louder?
Oh God. How bad did it get burned?
Most of my ham turned into pork rind.
Mm,
That's always fun.
Hey, I brought it all home. What we didn't eat there because it wasn't all ruined, just about half of it.
hmm
And what I didn't eat, we gave to the dog as special treats.
hmm
And the dog just loved it, but we just give her a little piece at one time,
hmm
and she just gobbled that down as quick as she could, and then
hmm
she ran to the water bowl because it was really salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we tried
You
not
got
to
the
give her
country ham.
we tried not to give her too much in one day because we knew we didn't want her blood pressure going up, and salt, yeah, and dog, yeah, she weighs just about as much as I do, but
Mm,
um, still, that ain't a good thing for a pet because she can't tell you when she's getting dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime
Well,
you see country ham, it's more salty than any other
well,
kind of ham.
it was labeled sugar cured, but it was still salty as all get out. So I'm
Mm.
wondering if somebody at the
Did you
packaging
put the
place,
correct rub on it?
no, there wasn't any rub. It was prepackaged
Oh, the
sugar
like
cured
cured,
ham,
yeah. Okay.
and
Pre-sliced.
I'm wondering if somebody didn't put the wrong label on the wrong bag.
They
That wouldn't
probably did.
surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. Um, but it was really good. Everything was really good. There was two different varieties of gravy, uh, scrambled eggs, ham, mom's bacon. Um, my sister-in-law made biscuits, and she was terribly afraid because she's not really comfortable making biscuits from scratch. Um, mom made mom started and my sister finished um, fried apples. Um,
Ooh, fried
oh
apples are
yeah,
yummy.
I mean you talking about a recipe that's been handed down since the Great Depression,
Mm.
Love you.
and we were trying desperately to keep mom out of the kitchen because she would just take over and work herself to death. We were wanting her to sit in the living
That's how
room and
my
just
mom is.
talk to the grandkids and everything and just chill out. But my mother does not know the meaning of chill out.
Yep.
I
Um,
invented the meaning of chill.
no, she's go 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 go.
Yep.
Just wide open all the time. Um, we finally got her to sit down and relax,
hmm
and everything went well. Um, handed out presents, Everything went well. Everybody liked what they got. The kids mostly were the only ones getting anything. Um, mom really liked the fact that when the book came out this time, it had the dedication.
Yeah.
So that was really emotional for the both of us. And Lindsay's just watching both of us going, okay, which one's going to reach for the Kleenex first? I know you're both going to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a dead heat. Um,
Well,
oh,
I'll tell you something that was fun, Emily,
Yeah.
is Dan didn't know I'd done it, but I had bought one or two of his books, and he didn't know I had it. And I had snuck it into my room, and before Hallowcon was over with, I grabbed it and got him to autograph it, but he didn't know I'd had it.
And
So I got to surprise him.
that's pretty cool.
He was not expecting that, but he
I
happily and graciously autographed it for me.
That's so cool, though.
and then I ran to the room and cried because it was emotional. Yeah,
Aw. I've got all those cleared off.
Because
I,
I didn't tell him I had done that.
I love it when my friends appreciate what I do.
Well, you do a lot of cool stuff, Dan, and people are gonna appreciate it. Like, it's just like something like common. It's like you do something good, you're gonna get rewarded. You do something bad, we're gonna beat you with a fucking stick, kind of thing.
Well, knowing the history of my life, I expect the stick more often than I expect the tears of joy.
Is it, do you expect the stick or do you prefer the stick?
No, we expected because when you grow up in the South, when we did,
You had to pick your own switch back then. You picked it. And if you
Yeah,
picked a too small one, you were told to go back and
at
pick
times,
another one.
yeah,
Or they picked one for you, which was even worse.
what
yeah,
was
because they
bad,
knew where the good ones were.
is when you got one that was too small, and you got one that was so small, it was so ridiculous, it pissed them off even worse than they already were. And they got like 5 or 6 of them and twined them together.
Oh,
That
Emily,
hurt. Yeah, she froze
Emily's
up.
frozen. She'll be back.
Yeah.
It's hotel Wi-Fi. You gotta expect it. Oh, I think I'll save that comment. The next comment I was going to make for
Mhm.
green room because it doesn't need to be recorded.
Yeah. I probably pushed my luck with a couple of things earlier, but
Oh, don't worry about it.
it wasn't too terribly bad, but
You know what? You think Carl's going to complain?
Nah.
As
But
far as
I do try and save some stuff for the green room when I can get on it.
I know, Carl and the couple on the narrowboat in England that subscribe to us are the few that watch every episode. So and
Hey, as long as you're
they're
getting
doing great.
likes and
Hey,
people are watching.
it's not like I do this to get monetized. I
Yeah.
do this to spend time with my friends. And if
Yep.
somebody else that ain't here gets some joy out of it, that's gravy on the biscuit.
Yep.
I hope she doesn't have to reboot and get everything started all over again because that'd be aggravating for her.
Yeah. Because there's only 5 minutes left in the show.
Ooh, that's right. I have not been looking at the timer.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I try and get on these shows, because I
Mhm.
try and pay attention to things like that and comments that might get overlooked.
Yeah. I spend so much time involved in the comments from the other participants that I sometimes forget about comments that show up in the chat.
That's easy to do, Dan.
Well, yeah,
That's why I try and help out with it.
I know it is, but and thank you for helping. It's nice when other people have got your back. Folks, we're reaching the end of the last man standing for 2023.
Oh, wow.
And we are going to continue in 2024. You know, when we started this, we had no idea it was going to keep going this long. I mean, Stupid O'Clock, Last Man Standing, a bunch of other shows by other people. We had no idea that this was going to become not only a habit, but an addiction. But we're grateful that it has happened, and it is something that people enjoy, and that hopefully we'll be able to keep doing it for a long, long time, and stay relevant and stay entertaining. And even when it's no longer relevant or entertaining, we'll probably just do it to amuse ourselves, which is the way it started out. Just do it to amuse ourselves and be able to spend time with folks that, because of lockdown, we weren't going to get a chance to see. It's amazing that tragedies often give rise to tribulations in the long run, but you got to be able to stick around for the long run. At first, it does not seem like, hey, this is a good thing for we few, and then later on turns out good thing for we the many. Yeah, that sounded egotistical, but I've got the viewing figures. A lot more people enjoy watching this on the rerun, on the replay, than are actually here during the live.
Yeah.
And that's very complimentary. Thank you.
I think it's because they can fast forward to the parts they don't want to see.
Like the top of my head.
Nah.
One of these days, if I get really bored, I'll go back through every single episode and do a compilation of me sleeping through the show. It'll be. I'll have to rename that one the Last Man Sleeping List. Be a special playlist that nobody wants to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we got less than a minute left.
Yep. And he arrived at that not so great moment in time.
Yes, and it's like you've been at a great party, but everything's winding down, and there's no more chips and dip, and the keg's running low, and everybody's looking around like, oh, I wish I could go to bed now. and we're just waiting on the last person to go, well, see you later. And my show, it's time for me to say, see you later.
Go good, guys.
We'll be back Saturday night, God willing, and we'll see a lot of our friends in the green room tomorrow night. And yeah, go good, guys.
Take care, Dan.
Good night.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.
Well, something certainly got glitched right there. And I'm not doing the whole damn thing over again. Well, good night, everybody. We shall see you anon. And thank you very much for being here. Good night.